Elena Scott Harris here from Vino, Las Vegas, with Lake Jacqueline right behind us here in Desert Shores at Lakeside Center at renowned restaurant Marché Vaucluse, with owner Rhonda Wyatt, Jeff Wyatt, Chef Luciano Pellegrini, and Jeff. You created this massive food restaurant here in Las Vegas. It rivals many restaurants on the Strip, in my opinion. But you both did not come from a restaurant background. You created this massive bowl. So how did this happen?
That was 11 years ago, actually. I was independently physician practice executive in one of the deans of medical school here in Nevada for almost 10 years. And you were a technology sales executive at Dell and other companies. I was a wine collector, though. And we're from New Orleans, so there's always an affinity for food and great wine. So we decided to make a career change. We decided to do something completely different and actually have fun for a change. So.
And we were a customer of this place for the
right.
first 7 years, and we were coming all the time as customers. And when the French couple that owned it said they were going to sell it and move on, we thought it was like our second home, and it had so much potential. We decided to buy it.
It's interesting. You said that you want to have some fun, and a lot of people in the restaurant business, unless you have true passion, which obviously you do, it's one of the most difficult businesses to be in. And I know you've had your challenges, but you created something very special here.
Well, thanks.
So what do you think you bring special to it? Because maybe from your previous careers that maybe somebody that's born and raised in a restaurant business doesn't have. What do you think that you bring to the table to make this so successful?
Well, again, we talked about commitment, drive, ambition, an affinity and affection for food and wine. We're from New Orleans, and that's how you grow up. It's a European lifestyle in essence. So even though we weren't restaurateurs, we always were eating in restaurants. My wife hasn't cooked in once in 20 years. So,
there you go.
So we eat out every night, and so you can see what's occurring in certain places, not the back of the house, behind the scenes, but certainly you can see how places are run from the front as well. And so while you can say we didn't have that experience per se, we did have an experience of being in a place like that all the time. The wine part for me was really very straightforward and easy, actually. And also at the same time, having run businesses, although they're physician practice groups, and medical schools, sometimes some of those are transferable talents and information that you can use in any industry, actually.
And I had a large background in marketing and also managing businesses. And just we decided to take everything from the customer standpoint. You know, basically we had been, foodies forever. We met in college, and we were still going to fine restaurants even when we were broke.
Exactly, right? Food first.
Yeah. So we just took it from a customer standpoint. What our expectations were, and just really manage the business like we've managed businesses in the past, but just with the nuance of food. But you still have the same components of business in the restaurant that you do in any other business.
And if you're here all the time too,
That makes a big difference.
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
That's very important, isn't it? Even chef, you have to be here.
Yeah, you have to be there. And, the cows that is under the watchful eye of the owner always gets a little fun of that.
I love that. That is great.
So it is what it is.
That is great.
And I actually have to add something about this too, and possibly the fact that came from a different business altogether. And then all of a sudden they were foodies and they know what the best restaurants in town are about. It always gave them an incentive to match them, if not, get the best of them. And that's why they never stop in the pursuit of excellence and try to do better and improving every year and so on and so forth. Both with the quality of the food and the quality of the people that they hire.
So how would you describe the food, the cuisine here at Marché Vaucluse? I mean, we've eaten here many times for years, and so how would you describe it? I'll pitch in here as well.
Sure. We were actually talking to some folks about rebranding to some degree, and from my standpoint, it's still a bistro perspective because of the type of service that you receive. You don't have the number of back waiters. It's not as formal. It's more like you see in a Parisian bistro. So you can't lose that concept because it doesn't translate. People wouldn't misunderstand exactly what the concept of the service level would be. but it took a somewhat of a different direction about 3 years ago when Luciano was we were very happy to have him involved here, and he was so magnanimous to actually accept our offer to basically take over the helm of the kitchen. And that was a result of us having vacation with Robin Leach, who's very well known, and we were sitting there talking, and he said, "Why don't you guys start doing some things a little more Mediterranean?" He said, "Well, yeah, we were talking about." We talked to Luciano Pellegrini. He goes, "That's what I'm talking about." And so it was a natural.
And we were in Italy at the time,
Yeah.
enjoying
Yeah.
some amazing pastas. And we thought, well, even though this kind of started as a traditional French restaurant, why couldn't it grow
Sure.
to incorporate some other things?
Sure.
And that's when, Chef Luciano started bringing the homemade pastas, and we started to really expand the menu. So it's grown.
But it almost goes back to your New Orleans roots,
Mhm.
the French and the Spanish
Mhm.
influences.
Right.
And I was just at Antoine's last week,
Yeah.
and 175 years, so you have those influences, that kind of bistro feel.
Right.
But you have that background, and you're bringing that
Mhm.
that home feeling that you experience there
Mhm.
here, and engaging the public in this way.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And at the same time, you also need to be very more approachable sometimes.
Sure.
People didn't understand certain dishes that we're trying to, or at least have them understand what we're trying.
So, sure enough, Italian food is simpler in nature, less ingredients, but quality, and simpler flavors, but cleaner. And I do believe that the menu still remains French bistro decor. There are some dishes that we cannot touch here because people will revolt. And,
Yeah.
right, so,
Exactly, right.
so you have your Marche classics, but I think that the new way we're going was exactly that, to introduce more things, and hopefully, since Mediterranean was mentioned, not stop necessarily just with Italian food, but include some Spanish tacos, or mixed Greek dishes, or Moroccan that, who knows?
Exactly. Which is also true in French restaurants too. You see right now, particularly
Yeah,
Asian
absolutely.
bistros. Yeah, it's a melange of all types of cooking styles,
Sure.
including Asian.
No,
Yeah.
but absolutely. I mean, Southern Europe, pretty much all dishes are very similar, just with different names depending on the language. But there are similarities, across the whole board of cuisines, different cuisines. I mean, everybody uses couscous.
Sure.
Those supposedly is,
Right.
Moroccan thing, especially. But we were invaded by Moroccans at one point or another. So there was always a mixing and mingling of cultures that became eventually French cuisine, Italian cuisine, and whatnot. So
Right. I wanted to follow up, Elaine, when you were talking about dining in New Orleans. Well, one of the things I remember about spending all of my life there before Vegas was everything there is family owned. All of the restaurants, the one you mentioned,
Right.
Antoine's Galatois, is still owned over 100 years by the original descendants of Leon Galatois.
Brilliant.
And I find in Vegas, it's hard to find the owners present
That's true.
in the family-owned restaurants, where either the chef is the owner or you have the restaurateurs that you can see whenever you go. And I always felt that that was something that set us apart in this town, but yet it's the norm where we grew up.
Right.
And so that's very important to us, that we are here. That's what we love about it,
What
that
differentiation.
develop
Sure.
those relationships day in and day out. I think is key to everything we've done in the last 11 years.
Yes.
Well, you've made a great reputation over the years, and it's interesting, I was going to ask you too, is that you have people, not just locals, but people that come from out of town. They hear, I mean, the Strip has, the Michelin stars all over the place, but they find out about Marché Bacchus. And is that word of mouth or pretty much, right?
A lot of it,
Yeah.
a lot of it's word of mouth. A lot of it's the wine program.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got some very, very loyal, very good customers from all over the world. Saudi Arabia, Asia, all throughout Europe. A lot of Canadians, quite a few. Absolutely. Hawaii's not exactly foreign, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's domestic. But a lot of wine
Sure.
shoppers too.
And I think people that are wine lovers, or even corporations looking to do an event where they don't want to spend 300% markup on the wines, but they want nice wines for either it's a customer event or an employee event, and they're from out of town. I think we should talk about the fact that we have this retail wine shop that we leverage, so the cost structure, is a third or half of what you pay on the Strip, so that drives people here for quality
Sure.
at a good value.
And you have a lake.
And we have a lake.
And the damn ducks.
Geese.
And geese.
And there aren't too many
Plus,
places, right?
We're the only off-street restaurant that has a James Good Award winner sitting next to
And
it.
of course you do.
That's right, that's right.
Multiple
That's right.
things, Brad, I've been saying that for
That's
years
right.
about him. So you mentioned that about the wine shop, and a lot of people, I can't think of too many other venues here in Las Vegas. We actually come in, get a bottle, take it to your table, and enjoy your wine. And it's not just you're an amazing wine program, that you have really eclectic, interesting wines. You also have those trophy wines as well. You have the first grow, second grow, yeah, you got all of that, right? So for almost any budget, correct? You come in and find a bottle for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the beauty of it. It's a retail pricing plus $10. That is the only model like
There you
that
go.
in the city.
Right.
We're the only
There
one
you
that does
go.
it that way.
So being here in Lakeside Center, it's been known in the past for having live music. And they're getting ready to reintroduce that at a higher level.
That's right. April 25th, there's going to be a big event here, and you're going to be part of it.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
We're excited.
There's
So-
going to be the concert, but then there's going to be a VIP wine tasting you're going to be co-sponsoring with, absolutely, and known for fine wines. So that's going to be
Yeah.
30 or 40 lucky people who want to purchase a seat back there. Opportunity has some really, I know you're going to come up with some really good stuff.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
No doubt. And we're going to find some things that are approachable at the same time, highbrow enough to everybody understands. It's special.
Right.
Absolutely.
We have heard there's some new additions coming to Marché Bacchus, so tell us a little bit more about this.
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, we actually received a full liquor license. And, so we went to work right away with Max Love, mixologist at Sunlight
Excellent.
Spirits, and a great cocktail list that we'll be introducing about 30 days from now. A lot of construction to do.
We can't wait.
To create the bar and everything. But associated with that, we'll have a bar food program as well, and some happy hour offerings as well. So
It's a whole new chapter
Wow.
for our
Perfect.
Another bar for you to gather.
I love this. I used to be his favorite barfly.
Oh, really? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, we are going forward with the events here at Lakeside Center, and we're so grateful that you're going to be a part of it.
Okay.
And also now that you're going to have this new mixology program is very exciting. So just going forward, what are your feelings like about all of this? About the new venue, the music, the mixology? Are you excited?
yeah,
and-
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, it creates some new opportunities for us, obviously, and at the same time, it gives us a chance to be a little more creative too.
Yeah,
We
that's
really enjoyed creating these cocktails together. It was
Sure.
a lot of fun. And,
Yeah.
And the music events,
We've
what we're hoping
always
is
been,
will
yeah.
bring, more, I guess, exposure to the center,
Sure,
know?
sure.
So,
Yeah.
it's still after all these years, I run into all the time that say they didn't know this place
Right.
existed, Marché or the center.
Or even a lake.
Or-
Even
yeah,
there's a lake.
right.
Lake Jacqueline.
Right,
Lake
Lake
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. So maybe the music events, which are going to be on a very large scale,
Yes.
it'll be exciting to be a part of that. And like you said, even before, during, and after
Sure.
the
Yeah.
events, we can
So
be
you're gonna have your very own mini show rush.
mini show. Yeah.
Pretty much,
Yes,
yeah, you look at
exactly.
that way you will. You can
Yeah.
have your cocktails, your dinner, your
Yeah.
wine, and then the VIP section, which you're going to be a huge part of that.
Right.
And yeah, it makes a whole
Yeah.
encompassing experience, evening,
Yeah.
evening,
Yeah.
starting, during, and even ending here as well.
Right.
So,
So look
look,
for that opportunity.
congratulations.
Yes,
Um,
congratulations.
We're very happy to see these new and up and coming events here at Marché Bacchus, and you're going to keep striving harder and harder and higher like you already have. Congratulations. really.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
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 to you.
It was a great time as always. Until next time, Elena Scott Harris, Vino Las Vegas.
That's right. Cheers.